Good evening, Speed Gaming 4, and welcome to tonight's Super Metroid A Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Weekly. This is a normal 774, but is also co-op. Our runners are in teams of two, and they will all have the same seed, and all runners will be in a voice call with their teammates, and they will be sharing information as the seed goes on. I'm Craze Gamer, going to be giving you commentary for tonight. The two featured teams are MM2 Nest Cartridge and Farfaloo on Team World Cup Brass for Rupees, and Eddie and Stachio Cat on Team Chicago Bullies. So in a moment, we will be getting started. All of these runners are very good at both A Link to the Past and Super Metroid. Eddie and Stachio Cat having more of a specialty in Super Metroid, and MM2 and Farfaloo being very good at just SMZ3, so plenty of experience in both games. So, because of the nature of co-op, you will see one runner go into A Link to the Past to do the standard Sphere 1 checks, but you'll also see one runner go down to uh, Retro Brintstar to check the two things there. Or I'm just a liar and everyone goes down to A Link to the Past. Eddie's going down to Retro Brintstar, Stachio Cat's going into Link to the Past, and MM2 and Farflu are also in Link to the Past. As you can imagine, there's a lot of things going on all at the same time, so if I miss anything, don't be afraid to just say something in chat, be like, hey, there's this thing at this place. So MM2 is going to go to the eastern area, which is fine in co-op, because in co-op you don't want to go over what your partner has already done, so having the divergence is the proper play. Green Pendant Skullwoods, good information. So Eddie reset, I assume there was nothing down in Retro Brain. Crab just has small magic, which is fine. Not the best, but, you know, it's good in case you have something that needs magic. MM2's in Eastern. We'll see if this gives us anything. Oh, there's a Moon Pearl at Uncle's, so everyone's gonna have to go there at some point. There's also a glove. It's glove and ether in Blind Side. That's good. It's good. Granted, Sphere 1 you'll have things going on anyway. Spazer also in CAC, alright. Lots of things in CAC. There's our map check. Pendant Eastern, blue crystal in desert, and red crystal in Hera. Sorry for that brief technical issue, but we're back. Looks like the 100 race game, which is good since Zora's already in Logic. Nothing on Desert Ledge. There's a sword at the dam, so assume everyone's got to go get that. The bottle in Mini Moldorm Cave, so expect people to start going back to Kakariko to turn that in, sick kid. Oh, Grabsu back there too. Alright, well, thank you for that. There's a flute somewhere along in that chaos as well. So the thing about co-op SMZ3 is that they'll typically be a little bit quicker than seeds normally are, since both runners can check more things in a short amount of time, so getting to go mode is generally faster than a solo seed. Alright, Stashio Cat is going to check the back of Escape. Eddie gets his sword from the dam. In that back of Escape, we've got an E-Tank, rupees, and the small key. I don't think we've seen a lamp yet, so Dark Cross will be in the dark, which is fine if you know how to do it. Meanwhile, MM2 is going to pick up his Grav. There's Eddie's Gravity Suit with an E-Tank, a piece of heart, a bottle, and some arrows. MM2 leaves the chest behind, knowing that Farflu's already checked it, and it's nothing that's important. What was that on Farflu's sick kit? Yeah, to me it looked like missing though, but that's obviously couldn't be that. Alright, Farflu's gonna go to Uncle, very likely pick up Moon Pearl, and if MM2 hasn't already done so, they'll follow suit in the near future. Oh boy, that's a speed booster, and the first chest in Escape. Speed booster before Morph Ball is always a little bit concerning, since it opens up a few things in Brinstar, because you can speed through the bomb blocks in Parlor. It's not a check you like doing, because if it ends up nothing, then you have to go all the way back or reset. So typically doing that check is like the last thing you want to do, like after you've done everything else. Alright, since we do have a flute though, that does give us mount access before the lamp. And that gives us Norfair, which is one check in logic before the before Morph Ball comes up. And looks like Ridley is a Metroid boss. Zelda Cell just has a heart container. Stashio Cat is back in Super Metroid. I expect he's going to check Brinstar with Speed Booster. So this either requires a short charge from within this room, or you can get a running start from the landing site and then hop over that short little hill there. And then that'll give you Shine Spark there too. Eddie and Stashio Cat will now have the knowledge that Green Pendant is Skull Woods. And if I remember correctly, Saha and Eastern were both blank, so this will just be a little bit before he gets that info. It's a bottle under the bridge at Green Brinstar. MM2 is going to make the Brinstar checks now. Alright, there's only 2 checks left in Brinstar, and they're both in big pink. If there's nothing here to reset out. That is progression, as Titan's Mint. With our Moon Pearl, that is Dark World access. A question, chat. Presumably, everyone checked Chicken Hut, and there's always a lot going on a 4-player stream, so I assume it was nothing since no one really said anything. Okay, so Farfaloo's turning in the old man. This is out of logic without the lamp, but it's a pretty easy dark room from either end, so pretty easy check to do, and it gives you the save and quit point to the mountain, which is obviously very good. And with an activated flute already, it's the most time-efficient option for save and quits, because you can just talk to the old man right away, get your health refill, and then flute to wherever it is you need to go. Alright, MM2 gets the Titan's Mitts at Brinstar. So now Farfaloo will know where that is, and he'll have to make his way to Brinstar at some point. And the awkward thing about doing the getting through Parlor with the speed boosters, that you have to do it from both sides, so granted, you have a lot more room from the other side, but still have to remember to do it. Alright, Statue is going to go to the Mire area first, and this will give us our first look at Dark World as well. We already know green pendants at Skullwoods, or Statue can just not check the map, and we'll just be in the dark for a little bit. Alright, Mire's Quake. We don't know if that's required yet, because we don't know if Mire's required. Yep, without the medallion and without the mirror, those 2 checks in the Mire Shed is all you can do. Don't have Various Suit, can't go into Lower Norfair. Well, you don't want to go into Lower Norfair. Alright, Stashio Cat now heading into... Well, I was going to say go into Dark World, but first turn in the bottle for Sick Kid. Ah, just a blue rupee. Yeah, MM2 definitely does not have a flute, otherwise he would be fluting, so he'll have to pick that up at some point. Forgot where it is, but it's definitely something you want, especially if your Various Suit is MIA, and your flute is the only way you can get to the Mire area. Yeah, so in normal logic, the screw attack item is not in logic without Varia. You need Varia in order to check that. And you also need Morph too, because those are bomb blocks that are in the way. Alright, looks like Eddie and Farflu are both on their way to pick up the mitts, while Stashio Cat is in the village of Alcast doing the many checks that are here. And MN2 is also here as well. always unfortunate in terms of routing when you have required item in Brinstar before the Morph Ball, because you're leaving behind a lot of items that you may have to come back for once you do find Morph Ball, and it really just disincentivizes going through Brinstar again. But if there's something back here, then we'll need to do it at some point, but we don't know that yet. Oh, Stasho Cat was a little bit short on rupees for digging him, so it's gonna have to shoot some arrows and make some rupees to get to 80. This is not a thing most runners will practice, because it's usually rupees are not an issue, but of course, once it is an issue, then it's an issue. Alright, our Dark World is pendants at Swamp Palace, Metroid bosses at TR, and looked like everything else was a blue crystal. Sancho Cat says, alright, enough of that nonsense, we're just gonna do Smith Chain without the mirror, which hurts a little bit, but if you get something good here, and the mirror's way later, then go for it. Ooh. Hammer Thieves Town? Yeah, Hammer can be in a few different trolley locations. Thieves Town is not at the top of that list, but it's certainly up there. Sasha Cat is taking our friend Jeremiah all the way around Dark World. They're going to end up at Hype Cave, and this is likely a save and quit out after these 5 checks, and going to drop off our friend. Hype Cave, you're disappointing us today. One out of 5. Meanwhile, Farfaloo's in Skullwoods, doing what is effectively overworld checks, because it's 2 quick items usually. We say usually because you need the Fire Rod in order to get to the back, and if you don't have that, you're kind of hoping that there's nothing important back there on under the bridge or at Mothula. Alright, Stashio Cat turns in the Smith. Eddie is just a few chests away from the hammer. Alright, so Heart Piece on the Smith doesn't really pay off there. Let's see if Stashio Cat continues the mirrorless Smith Chain and goes for the purple chest. Stashio Cat is checking race game? What was that race game? Oh, was it just rupees? I guess he needs it. Yeah, because keep in mind, we do have a glove, so Zora is in logic. Just Zora, mind you, not Zora Ledge is not, and the Wonderful Fairy's not, so it's a check you really don't want to do. You want to bundle all that in together, but if Zora ends up having to be anything, you definitely want the 500 before you go there. Lion having some bread puns for us today. And Blind goes down to MM2. Nothing really important there, but it is a required boss, so one down, a whole bunch to go. And let's welcome in our Raiders from Speed Gaming 3. This is a Super Metroid A Link to the Past combo randomizer co-op race, where MM2 and Farfalu on one team are in a voice call with each other, sharing information, and Eddie and Sashio Cat are on another team, sharing information with each other. There's a hammer for Sashio Cat, which he knew was there because Eddie had scouted it earlier. And that's really one of the big advantages of co-op, is that you know exactly which chest you need to go to, and you can just beeline to all of those and skip everything else. Just 3 bombs at dig game end. MM2 is going to continue digging for rupees because there's plenty of other things in the game that do require rupees. Obviously Zora, which we mentioned before, is 500, but we also need 110 for pod entry, which we will need at some point because it is a crystal. Granted, we also want to have like a bow first, but you never know where that bow is going to be. It could be just a bow in pod. It looks like 3 of our featured runners are on the same dungeon. They're in Thieves Town. So, and we know that the only thing really that was in here was the hammer. So, let's take a look at MM2, who is doing Mirrorless Smith Chain, which we know is not going to really yield anything, but it's going to go through the motions anyway. So even though we have Dark World access, it's not like it's okay. Like having a mirror obviously would be really good, but we do have Mitt's hammer, which is fine. It does give us all the points of entry into Dark World, along with an activated flute. So really, we can go anywhere we want. But we're still missing a lot of key items for dungeons. For pretty much everything, and we're missing 2 suits for Super Metroid. We're missing 1 suit for Super Metroid. We already have a gravity, which I just forgot about because we don't have a morph ball, so we really can't do anything in Super Metroid until we find that. Alright, Eddie's going to show us hammer pegs, and this is new. Speaking of mirror, alright, so you didn't have to do Smith Chain Mirrorless because you could have just gone to Thieves Town first and then beelined it here, which is still not a great sequence, but it's there. And of course, now that Eddie knows that mirror is there, now Stashio Cat knows that it's there. So Stashio Cat is absolutely going to beeline to hammer pegs and pick up a mirror. But he's got to beat Blind first. So that's it's about a minute and a half off. Stashio Cat decides not to, again, knowing that Eddie picked up an item on Blind and it was nothing, so you can just easily come back to this later when you're in go mode and just complete that dungeon. So Stashio Cat is going to do hammer pegs and get the mirror. Yeah, our tracker for tonight, Sky, mentioning that everybody just hitting a wall with dig game. Not a lot of rupees in this seed. Usually something you don't even notice, but you definitely take for granted when the scene is not giving you the money you need. Alright, Farfalu is making the play. He is going to pod without a bow. So, if the first item is not a small key, then you need a bow to get the 2 items on the right side, unless you use any number of tricks like the potion glitch, which let you trick the game into thinking that you've defeated the enemies when you haven't. Could also do the oh, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's when you force the mimic off the screen. Mimic clip. Mimic clip? Mimic clip, yeah. Alright, purple chest is new for us, but it is just a heart container. Alright, Farfalu does find a small key in the first chest and pod, so we can continue on in the dungeon. Meanwhile, Eddie is taking the mirror up the mountain and is gonna go explore the Tower of Hera, which is not full clearable without a fire source, so hopefully there's nothing in the basement that we need. Alright, well, a big key lets us progress through, and we just hope we never find a small key. Hopefully that small key has locked itself in the basement. Oop, just kidding, there's a small key right there. So now we hope that the item in the basement is either the compass or the map. Meanwhile, MM2 is also in the Tower of Hera, chasing the mirror. And Farfalu is in pod, and Statue Cat is gonna do purple chest. So our runners have not found hookshot yet, so there's no chance to do Terrapot, so you do have to do Tower of Hera the normal, boring way. Alright, so Piece of Heart is 1 item. Alright, Farfalu is going to attempt Mimic Clip. Alright, map in the big chest, which means now there's a 50-50 that Moldorm has the second item. Eddie is gonna use hammer shots on Moldorm. Each of those hammer shots counts the same as a tempered sword swing. So just 3 shots and you avoid the enrage phase. And that's a Moldorm down. Let's see if it's the second item. It is not. It is a compass. So there's an item in the basement. So that's going to be something that the runners will have to keep in mind, and hopefully there's nothing important down there, because unless you can easily route this back in through, like, other mountain checks, then, well, it's going to be a while. Actually, it's going to be really unfortunate, because with the gloves, you can get to the East Dark Death Mountain. The only things you're leaving behind are Hookshot Cave, but you do the rest of it. Alright, MM2 gets Moldorm down. That's a crystal for him. A piece of heart in Spiral Cave, nothing doing there. And we've got Paradox coming up, and then Super Bunny, and then they'll scout out TR. Still missing a whole bunch of medallions though, so most likely can't open it yet. And even if you could open it, you couldn't even progress because you don't have the Cane of Samaria. Well, that's the wrong color cane right there. That's Cane of Burna. We doesn't really open up anything. Ooh, that's a lie. Cane of Burna makes Spike Cave in logic, and that's annoying, especially with just 5 hearts and no half magic. That's gonna be tight. Well, there's Quake. That's another medallion. So now the odds are a little bit better that we have the ability to open up TR. In fact, we now have the ability to open up Mire, but can't get past the first room. We don't have boots or a hookshot. And we need the Cane of Samaria to beat it, and that is required since Misery Mire is a crystal. Alright, M2 picks up the red boomerang, Quake, and another bottle. And Eddie is going to give us our look at the TR medallion requirement. And it is, of course, the medallion we do not have. It is Bombos. Getting trolled a little bit by some dead rocks. There's a plasma for Eddie and an E-tank in Super Bunny Cave, and that is all the checks you can do here because we don't have a hookshot and we don't have boots to check the first chest in Hookshot Cave. But Eddie does have a hammer and a Cane of Burna, so it is time, with 4 hearts, to check Spike Cave. And to pulling the paw for a tree pull, but it is just rupees, just green rupees. Oh, looks like Eddie did not attempt Spike Cave. Is this a potion? Nope, this is just decide to do other things. Oh, this is indecision. Alright, Stasho Cat doing the Dark Maze in the dark, not in logic without the lamp, but it's an easy thing once you know the room. Alright, Farflu's giving us our first look at Catfish. Now, with the mirror, he can easily check Zora at this point. If he had the mirror. I don't know, that's a weird check to make when you know where the mirror is. Regardless. MM2 is going to give us Spike Cave with a couple of more hearts and a Cane of Burna. Just a missile in Spike Cave, so No reason to go back there. Nope. Pistachio Cat taken to death. Obviously on the way to the pyramid ledge, but let's see if he tries that again. Yeah, we're in Zelda right now. We cannot do much without a morph ball, so this is just hunting for a morph ball. So MM2 is back in the mire area, and now with a mirror can check Checkerboard Cave. One additional check. Let's see if this is anything important. Ooh, MM2 just getting on the ledge, and it is a fire rod. Alright, that's a little annoying because that gives us the ability to go to Skullwoods, Green Pendant Skullwoods, and it also gives us Hera Basement as well. Ooh, that's a gross piece of aggression right there. Alright, MM2 is going to mirror to Desert. This is our first look at Desert. We don't have a boot, so the item on the torch is going to determine whether or not we need to come back here with boots. Yep, we need to come back here. There is a small key. So let's see if we are hard boots locked or not. If there's a big key in here, then we can clear the... We can at least get to the... Nope. Okay, never mind. We are very much boots locked. The big... Actually, you can steal a key from the back and then get to the right side, but then you'd still need the boots to get the small key on the torch. So if you want to sneak 2 items in there, you can steal a key from the back, but probably not worth it because that is locked behind your Pegasus boots. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying this mess of a seed right here, where we're 42 minutes in and a co-op seed, and we haven't found Morph Ball, so we've just been playing A Link to the Past Randomizer with guest starring Super Metroid. Alright, Eddie's picking up a blue potion. I would assume he's going to make an attempt at Spike Cave. We know it's not going to result in progression. Meanwhile, Stachio Cat is making the Zora play, and we'll see what Zora's hiding here. Alright, just money on the ledge, so we don't need that. But Zora might have something, and this would be a really sneaky thing here if Zora's just been hanging on to like our Morph Ball the entire time. Video game? What are you doing? Vanilla flippers. Alright. That opens up a little bit more. That gives us Hookshotless Swamp. And, you know, our friend under the bridge, but mostly it gives us Hookshotless Swamp. Alright, MM2 is going to take the Fire Rod and check under the bridge, and probably also just clear out Mothula and probably get the item for the Green Pendant. Did Farfelu do fake flipper? So I don't think he checked flippers. I don't think he checked Zora, did he? Alright, so if Stashio Cat does not come back for Waterfall Fairy, then that's time saved for them. But that is a gross location for flippers, obviously. Alright, Stashio Cat is gonna push the flippers and go into... Oh! It's even worse. It is Pendant Hookshotless Swamp. This is great. Glad you're all here enjoying this with me. Ooh, MM2 taking a death. Just got trolled by some spikes. Let's see if he goes back in. Nope. Yeah, unless you have a potion to refill your magic, then that fight is not any better than it was before. In fact, it's actively worse. So, no, oh, this is, yeah, so, get potions. Use the green potion right now, and then get a blue if you have the chance. No, he's just gonna go get greens, which is fine. So Morph Ped could be a thing, but we need to be able to clear the Pendant Dungeons first, and we're missing a hookshot for Swamp. And we're missing... Logically, we're missing a lamp for Eastern. Ooh, that's a Cane of Samaria in Pendant Swamp. What does that do? Alright, so that's Mire Access. Wait, no, that's not Mire Access. We still need Boots or Hookshot. It's TR access, but we can't complete it without the Ice Rod. Oh, this... Just little bits of progression here and there. Nothing like... Just... Oh. Meanwhile, MM2 is in Ice Palace. We know it's in Logic because the flippers are accessible, but chose to fake flipper there anyway. Meanwhile, Stashio Cat is doing left side swamp, which usually you don't want to do, but we can't finish the dungeon anyway. You might as well check these two things. Eddie picking up his flippers. And he's gonna pick up some money too. I mean, I guess it makes sense, you've only got 39. MM2 does not have the Cane of Samaria, so can't do Icebreaker. He's going to have to go through the dungeon the normal way. The best he can do is the Ice Palace Bomb Jump, which is in the next room. That takes a little bit of time off, but it's still slow. All right, game. All right. That's a bow on the left side of Swamp. That is now a technically clearable Eastern. We're still missing a lamp to put it in Logic, but the runners can do it. And by my count, that makes Pedestal accessible. Again, we need a lamp somewhere, but the ped's in Logic. I mean, well, the ped's accessible. So, from here, Satchel Cat is going to... Looks like he's going to go to Pod, which I do like. Again, out of logic without the lamp, but we can now complete it. And there might be an item on Helmasaur? Two is in this room, which does require the hookshot, so I'm not sure what he's planning here. Doesn't have boots, can't hover if he knows how to hover. Oh, he's gonna bomb jump. Okay. You know, I don't remember the last time I've seen someone bomb jump this room. I forgot you could even do that. Let's see. It looks like MM2 is just going to pick up that chest on the way out. Alright, looks like Eddie's going to go for his bow. And Stachio Cat is pushing Eastern instead of Pod first. Ooh, alright. There's a Varia, which is still gross because we don't have really anything to do with that yet. We can't get to Bubble Mountain. Wait, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We have Speed Booster. And 2 doesn't have Speed Booster, but we know it's there. Wait, does Farflu not have Speed? Like, they have to have Speed Booster. Someone made that check before. Yeah, I was initially thinking that we had no way to get to Cathedral, but we don't need to get to Cathedral. We just Speed Booster through to Bubble Mountain. So, all right. And we know that Varia is in logic, even though MM2 does not have the flippers. We know that flippers are accessible because Farflu has them. MM2 having a little bit of trouble with the staircases on ice. I don't blame him. You ever tried stepping on ice? Trying to climb upstairs? Don't recommend it. And to correctly remembering that without the hookshot, you can't hookshot through the blocks, you have to actually do this the intended way. So this is probably a full clear for MM2. Which is... not sure if it's in logic or not, because we are missing a hookshot, but we know we have a Cane of Samaria. But this is going to be a not trivial Cold Stare fight. He's got 1.5 hearts. Fighter Sword, Green Mail. He has a hammer, but that's as good, like... that's not a great fight. Alright, he's gonna take a green potion and spam the Fire Rod, which is the correct way to do this. Almost got surrounded by some Cold Stare Puffs. And then 2 artfully dodging some Cold Stare Puffs, and gets 2 down, needs 1 more, and that's it. Well done. Sadly, it is not progression. It's a required crystal, but that's about it. Meanwhile, Stachio Cat brings down some Armos Knights, gets a armor upgrade for his troubles, and a red pendant. So Stachio Cat is now going to take his mirror portal back to the Dark World and clean up Pod. And something we missed through the chaos that was the beginning of a co-op seed, Bombos was on Hylia Island. So all the runners knew it was there. We did not, because one person looking at 4 screens is tougher than you think. Meanwhile, MM2 is going to pick up some rubies, because it's been that kind of seed. Barflu is on his way to get... picked up the bow, picked up the useless compass on the left side, and takes a death warp. Oh, remember that time that I said there was nothing in ice? That was a lie. There was a Varia in ice. So Eddie will be picking that up in short order. And MM2 is going to Houlihan for even more rupees. There's a couple of different setups for Houlihan. One requires you to not have the flippers, and the other one requires you to have the, at least a glove. So here we are getting 225 or so rupees, and this is MM2 going to get his flippers from King Zora. Why Death Warp instead of Mirror? Great question. Perfectly good question. 10 out of 10 question. Alright, so Farfalu is going to go up the mountain, complete Tower of Hera, and probably also check out the Hera basement to let MM2 know if he has to come back here. Alright, Eddie picking up his Varia suit and telling Stachio Cat the great news. Almost sort of just bullying Stachio Cat. MM2 making his way to Norfair. Helmosaur King just dropping 3 bombs. Nothing really good there. Alright, so MM2 is going to go to Cathedral. Oh, okay. This is in logic, question mark. Alright, so this is a Cathedral check, so if there's something trolly here, MM2 is going to get some eyes on it. It's a Bokamudora he can't pick up without the Morph Ball. Oof. And Farfalu making his way into Turtle Rock. So nothing in Bubble Mountain. Well, at least not the first check in Bubble Mountain. Farfalu correctly remembering that without the hookshot, you need to go around the long way. So in case you were wondering, if you don't have high jump boots, your jump height is affected if you have speed booster. So taking off speed booster to make the Bubble Mountain jump is way easier than leaving the speed booster on. So far, nothing in the speed booster area. One check in logic, and that is the missile in double chamber. Wave beam itself is not in logic because if you drop down to the floor, you need morph ball to get out. So that item is not in logic without morph ball. Stashio kept picking up their fire rod. We'll see where they choose to take this. Meanwhile, Eddie having pretty much the same loadout fight that MM2 had. Fighter Sword Hammer, and no half magic, so this is going to be a little bit of a trial. Oh, I'm sorry, what? There was a morph ball in TR? Of course I'm looking in the other direction. Morphing chain chomps. Okay, well that's... I don't blame our runners for noping right out of there. So Farfalu is going to immediately push for Criteria Power Bombs. Eddie picking up the crystal in Eastern. That is hilarious. Space jump at Criteria Power Bombs. So let's see which one of Eddie or Stashio Cat makes the trip into TR first. So MM2's going into Swamp. In Swamp was the bow? Oh, the King of Samaria. Was it King of Samaria? Yeah, the King of Samaria was in the compass or the map chest in Swamp. So you need that in order to get into TR. And then you might as well just pick up your bow while you're here. And then go to TR. All of a sudden, we are just getting all the Super Metroid items all at once. There's a high jump boots in the back of Gauntlet for Farfalu. So Farfalu is going to take the Morph Ball and check the rest of Brinstar, which is a fair play because there's still a lot of items here that we have yet to look at. Is it fast scan today? Nope, it is a normal 774. Eddie making the realization that you cannot check Screw Attack unless you can break those blocks. So Morph Ball plus Power Bombs or Screw Attack. Farfelu missing reverse mock ball from the other side, but that's a tough trick anyway. And Stasho Cat is going to check the basement of Hera, which I think is nothing. I don't know if MM2 and Farfelu have checked that, but we'll see in a minute. Looks like Farfelu wants to farm up these B-Toms for some more power bombs, which is sensible. MM2 picking up King of Samaria. Nice spring ball. Looks like Stasho Cat missed a coffee break strat, so they have to kill some tiles. Basement's just 20 rupees, so nothing to come back for. Ah, that is something I forgot. If you take Frog Speedway and you don't have Morph Ball, you can't go up to Bubble Mountain because you need power bombs, and you can't lay a power bomb if you don't have Morph Ball. So you have to go through Cathedral. So doing the Shine Spark up to Cathedral is required. That is the intended way to get up here. Now Eddie's on his way, but we know this is not going to be anything, unfortunately. Because we know the progression is in Turtle Rock. And Eddie, doing what MM2 did, seeing the Book of Medora, trying to get it without Morph Ball, realizing he can't. Farfelu getting the wave skip pretty easily with high jump boots. This is a break in logic. Does require wave in order to get this item, and it is a really good one. It is silver arrows, not specifically required, but does take a lot of time off any fight that requires the bow. So that's going to be really good, obviously, for Ganon. It hasn't done any of the bosses that require the bow yet, so that's going to be a good time save for Helmasaur King, Vitreous, and I'm sure some others that I can't think of right now. So here's another good thing about co-op. Farfelu is checking Waterway, knows it's nothing, MM2 does not have to check it. Meanwhile, Stasho Cat is on Death Mountain. Just gonna go through these checks in order. When he eventually gets to the light, when he gets to the Dark World, he'll be able to go into Turtle Rock, and hopefully he'll go as far as Chain Chomp's room and pick up the Morph Ball. Meanwhile, MM2 is going to very likely just make a beeline right for TR. No reason to check anything over here, unless you really want the Canna Burner in Paradox Cave. Ooh, there's an Ice Beam in Billy Mays. Don't know if MM2 is going to get that or not. MM2 pulling the paw again for luck. Because there's really nothing else in Retro Brinstar besides Ice Beam, so depending on how the route goes, MM2 just may not end up getting it. Ice Beam's required? Yes, Ice Rod is required. Farflu found Ice Beam. It is the Super Metroid version of Ice Rod. Not really, but it's as close as you're going to get. MM2 taking a Death Warp. They do have the mirror, but it's also a health refill, so that's fine. So Farflu is going to give us our first look at Shaft Supers, making good use of that newly acquired Ice Beam just to get some shield, which he's not going to pick up. Yes, Ice Beam is required in normal for things like Red Tower before Morph Ball. It is not logically required to beat the game, but it's just really good to have. It makes Torian way easier. And MM2 is going to be a little bit careful here on one heart, and there it is. That's all I need. Well, Eddie is going to explore Skullwoods, and he will very likely save and quit once Stashio Cat picks up Morph Ball in about 90 seconds. Meanwhile, MM2 is going to pick up Space Jump because it does, in addition to being a good movement item, it does gate one item in Lower Norfair. It's the missile that's over the bridge on Gold Torizo that is specifically locked by Space Jump. Two now is going to pick up his high jump boots, which he knows is at the back of Escape on the left side, back of Gauntlet on the left side. Now here's an interesting thing. Eddie is going to be in the middle of the Mothula fight when Stashio Cat picks up Morph Ball. I have to assume Eddie just completes the fight and gets the green pendant. So there's a green pendant, there's a Morph Ball, and time to get out. So Eddie's going to check the chest under the bridge in Skullwoods, which if you've come this far, you might as well. But I assume Eddie's going to beeline to TR as soon as he's done here. Yeah, that was the last item, so absolutely good to check it there. No worries there. Oh, Pegasus Boots and Spooky Missiles, apparently. And welcome Raiders from Speed Gaming 2. We are playing Super Metroid A Link to the Past Combo Randomizer. This is a normal 774 co-op seed, so Eddie and Statue Cat are on a team and are sharing information via voice call, while MM2 Nest Cartridge and Farflu are doing the same. So Space Jump is not going to gate anything, it's just a heart container, and nothing really upstairs either, just a morph, just some missiles, and Green Pendant is just bombs, so unfortunately just wasted time, which you never know. Always good to do. Alright, Farfelu takes down Fantoon in a good fight. And let's see what Fantoon was holding. Great Boss. We knew it had to be required because we know where all the pendants are. Meanwhile, Eddie is on his way to Turtle Rock, and he's going to have a little bit of a shorter trek than MM2 did, since Eddie already had the Cane of Samaria and the bow from Swamp. Farfelu finds a shovel in the wreck ship, and Statue Cat finds their Pegasus boots. Alright, looks like MM2 is going to continue into Lower Norfair. Again, in co-op, you always want to be doing something different from what your partner's doing. You want to cover as much ground as possible, making sure not to step on each other's toes. MM2 missing the Shine Spark to get through pillars. He's going to have to do it the slow way. Yeah, the ammo is doable. It looks like it's 40-35, which you just need 30 supers, but it's possible. Also helps if you just find supers on the way. Easy. Alright, so I missed what Farfelu picked up, but he didn't reset out, so he kept it. I'm wondering what it is he kept. Unless he just chose not to save. Yeah, I don't think he saved. I think the save station was blue. Like, he didn't visit it on the map. So he had to keep it no matter what it was. Alright, so MM2 is taking the safe route and is going to check some amounts of items in the Lower Norfair escape before heading down to Ridley, which makes sense given the loadout. It's not a great Lower Norfair loadout. Like, you know, granted, I believe MM2 does run RBO, so he is used to doing, like, low percent things like this, but it's still not, like, it's still a little tight. There's a sword in the attic, apparently? And there's a hookshot in the sky. Alright, that is definitely some good info for our runners. That hookshot is extremely required. There's our lamp. Our lamp is in lower Norfair. Ooh, what? That's gross. That's a gross lamp placement. Ooh, Eddie is continuing into Turtle Rock. This is going to be big if he finds Ice Rod in here, because that makes it full clearable. And again, this makes sense from a co-op point of view. Your Stashio Cat is probably not coming back here until it's, until it's go mode. So checking as much as you can here is absolutely correct. But it is still kind of tough. It is not a lot of hearts, and it looks like it's still green now. So that's not great. And that's a bounce out. Like I applaud the attempt once, but if you have other things to do, go do them. Uh-oh. MM2 missed a super, so he's going to have to shoot 6 missiles to make up. He's got it, though. And Ridley was a Dragon boss. Let's see what he's hiding behind. Just a missile. He made it look easy, but he's coming out with less than 100 energy, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful. He's going to have to farm up some before heading back out. Sasha kept picking up his second sword in Worker Robots. And with 179 energy, MM2 says, okay, it is time to go. I'm going to take a bath in the acid and lose some more energy. Stasher Cat scouting out an E-Tank at Wreck Ship Reserve. Probably not going to pick that up. Ah, that is a good call. Good call. That's Eddie scouting out ahead, so Stasho Cat doesn't have to make that check later. That is absolutely correct. Alright, so Farflu's in Red Tower. I expect him to check X-Ray at this point, because Space Jump, Grapple Beam, pretty much everything you need. Yes. Yes, indeed. MM2 is extremely cutting this way close. Granted, Plasma Beam's nice, but you gotta be really confident to make that kind of move on that energy. Two, please. And he doesn't have enough to Crystal Flash, so he's gonna have to be super careful as he progresses through. Yeah, he's in Health Bomb range. Those enemies usually drop Power Bombs like 98% of the time, but in Health Bomb they drop MM2. That's not an E-Tank, but it will make going through this room way easier. Wow, what a bailout. All skill. Eddie's going to pick up the shovel. We don't know if that's good yet, but we got to pick it up just in case. All right, Farfaloo is giving us our first look at Meridia. Just kidding. He just broke the glass. Okay. That's fine. Still have to beat up Kraid anyway. He is a required boss. Eddie getting through the attic really well. Stashio Cat finding Charge Beam behind Alpha Power Bombs. Eddie's probably going to want to make his way back there as soon as he can. At some point. He's already beaten... I guess he can get Charge Beam on the way out of Wreck Ship. So who is winning right now? Well, Eddie and Stashio Cat have 5 and 4 bosses. Farfaloo has 3. MM2 has 3. So it's pretty close, but both teams are like doing their own things at the moment. So they're still looking for it. It's can't really tell at this point. And MM2 will find an energy tank to make things a little bit easier. Yeah, you want to pick that up. That is half magic. Not required, but absolutely a good item to have for A Link to the Past. Makes having to route in potions just... you don't have to do that. Alright, so Farfaloo is going to check Ice Beam and Crumble Tower without Variasuit. Normally this is out of logic, but he knows where Varia is, since MM2 has it, so he's making these checks now to cover the ground that MM2 has yet to cover. And Farfaloo is absolutely capable of doing all this. This would be in logic if this was hard, so this is not out of his wheelhouse at all. So let's look at our goal mode. We need, let's see, Desert is clearable, because we have the boots now. Pod is clearable. We have Bow and Lamp and Hammer. Mire is clearable. We have King of Samaria. We have both suits, so all of Super Metroid's clearable, so really the only thing left is Ice Rod. Alright, well... yeah, so the first team to find their Ice Rod is going to be in effectively go mode. So at this point, it's just split up and see who gets it first. So here's the thing that you have to consider when you're doing co-op is that, yeah, you're both of you are looking for the last item you need for your go mode, right? But if one of you is doing all required dungeons, which, everyone has to do, and one of you is doing overworld checks, or things like Crocomire and such, one of you is going to find it, and then all of a sudden the person who wasn't doing required dungeons now has to shift gears and do required dungeons, while the other person's now ahead, and you have to figure out what you're going to do at that point, because you could just do checks to find things that would make the rest of the game easier, but you don't want to finish the game as soon as you can, because then it doesn't, it's the last player to finish the race. It's the last player to finish the seed that actually counts for the team's time. So there's no advantage for completing things as soon as you can. So it's a interesting little dance that you have to do in terms of how fast you progress and who progresses when. It's a much different dynamic when you're playing co-op versus playing solo. All right, and he finds the silvers, so if Stashio Cat can route that in, I would assume he does, but I don't think there was really anything else in Brinstar, so may not even happen. Stashio Cat finds nothing in the left sandpit. Looks like Farflu is going to go to Vitreous. I wasn't keeping track of how many items were found, so I don't know if this is a return trip back into the dungeon or not. And let's welcome in our raiders from Speed Gaming. We are playing Super Metroid: A Link to the Past, Combo Randomizer. This is a normal 774 co-op seed, so runners are in teams of 2. MM2 Nest Cartridge and Farflu are in a voice call with each other. They're sharing information. And Eddie and Stashio Cat are likewise in a call sharing their information. MM2, nope, did not get the Kraid quick kill, so time to dance. So this seed has been an amount of troll. Let's see if we can go over everything. We've had... well, the very obvious thing is vanilla flippers. That was one. We had a Morph Ball in TR. We've had... Just some gross things. Just some really gross things. Right, Mitts and Big Pink, which required Speed Booster to get. So, where are we now? Stashio Cat is in Meridia. Farflu is checking Vitreous. Image is also in Meridia. Yeah, at this point we are just an Ice Rod from Go Mode for both teams. And the Ice Rod is the only thing, could be anywhere because the only thing Ice Rod blocks is Trinex, so anywhere in the world. So Farfaloo is going to continue with the desert. This is all new to us. We'll see what's on the right side, and then we'll see what Latmolus is holding. MM2 checking the watering hole. This is also new to us. And Statue Cat fighting Dragon. This is also new to us. Yeah, so Laser Ridge would be exceptionally trolly since everyone noped out of TR once they found the Morph Ball in Chain Chomp's rooms. Eddie tried to continue on, but unfortunately took a death in some pokies. Or maybe it was a laser shot, who knows. So long ago. Alright, Statue Cat gets grabbed by Dragon. Probably not intentionally, but it's fine. Elects not to go for the grapple kill. Instead, it's going to shoot charge plasma shots. And that's Dragon down for Statue Cat. Gets Crystal 4. Not like it probably doesn't matter, but what are our red crystals? And Eddie gets a quick kill. Very good. To get Crystal 5, that is one of our red crystals. While Farfaloo taking down some of Latmolus. And there's the rest of it for a heart piece and a crystal. Well, MM2 is going to check the right sand pit, and I would imagine if... Oh, he does not have grapple, so this would not be a shack tool check. And he doesn't have ice, so he can't even check that either. So, yep, that's a reset. Statue does have plasma, so can check plasma. Oddly enough. Farfaloo gonna give us our first check at Shovel. We found that in the wrecked ship, and no one's been able to check this yet. Just supers, though. Not really too much value since we've already found charge. And that's a nice bot-tween fight for MM2. Alright, let's see if this is a full halfie. Ooh, went a little bit too high. Yeah, Ice Rod could be pretty much anywhere except Trinex, because Ice Rod is only required for Trinex and nothing else in the game. Some powder in Bonk Rocks, so that's another fetch quest for us. Yeah, so if they missed a random missile location, you hope it's not there. So Eddie's checking out Lower Norfair. The Ice Rod was not in Lower Norfair, so this is all just repeated checks, unfortunately. Stashio Cat's going to clean up Desert. Farflu's going to clean up Pod. And MM2 reset out of Meridia? Question mark? Eddie can attempt some sparks. And gets the fast pillars. Yeah, we're running out of checks, so where could Ice Rod be in? There's one really unfortunate place, I think. Chat would like to see it, but our runners would not. Yeah! Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We know where the book is. It's in Cathedral. No one's picked it up because we didn't have Morph at the time. But Ice Rod on the Master Sword pedestal is absolutely a possibility. But it could be in a couple of other places too. And we just hope it's not on the pedestal. But as likely as it is that it's on the pedestal, it's also very likely that it's on Ether Tablet or Bombo's Tablet as well. So there's still a few places it can be, but it doesn't have to be the most trolliest of locations. We've had enough troll in the seed already. We don't need to go 100% on that. It's not often that you see a special beam attack outside of a boss fight, but that is what the plasma special beam looks like. No, don't know if Eddie intended to do that, but there it is. I believe Eddie does know that this is... Oh, no, this is... I was going to say if Stachio Cat came here first, he would know that the lamp is here, but nope, that's the lamp right there for Eddie, so now Stachio Cat knows where that is, but may not even be necessary if Stachio Cat does everything else that requires a lamp before coming to Lower Norfair. I agree, it is absolutely necessary, but for some people it's not. M2 is going to pick up the good item that was here, Worker Robots, which I've already forgotten. Oh, right, the second sword. Meanwhile, Barbaloo shows us an icebreaker. Very good. Barbaloo gets the Varia suit, and then M2 gets a hookshot. At this point, they're just trading, and Eddie's in the Ridley fight. Charge Plasma. No high jump, though, so it's an annoying fight, but certainly not impossible. But more to the point, though, not a lot of energy. This is... You know, Eddie can do it, but it's a tough fight if you don't know what you're doing. And there it is, Ridley down for Eddie. Yeah, dipping TR at this point is... Like, how many more checks do they have left? They did the first chest, they did the 2 on the right side, they did a lava chest, and they did chain chomp, so that's 4. The remaining checks in TR are lava chest, roller room, laser bridge, so it's 6. So if you want to go for the density play, you can. But there's still a lot of things left to do, including required dungeons, so... You know, it's a trade-off. Like, do you explore, or do you do stuff you have to do anyway? Alright, so M2's back on the mountain. It's gonna get a fairy, which is, you know, might as well. It's there. But I would expect MM2 is going to do both of the rest of TR as much as you can, plus Mimic Cave. And also check Hookshot Cave as well. And of course MM2 pulling the paw again for the 3rd time. I just needed magic, I guess? This is our first look at Hookshot Cave. Just a 20 in the first chest. Super. Tempered sword. And a heart piece. Well, Tempered Sword's nice, but it is not the thing we need to beat the game. It will make the Ganon fight a little bit easier, but we know where the silvers are. They're at Wavegate and Brinstar, and it is very likely MM2 is not going to go back for those. Statue Cat deftly avoiding the lightning bolts from Vitreous and is now going to swing some swords. Because he has one arrow left and you need, I believe, 8 to beat Vitreous. It is easier to swing swords than it is to try to get the hammer, even though the hammer has more damage output, is a little bit more unwieldy. And there's a big eyeball down for Statue Cat. Eddie about to pick up his Wave Beam, and MM2 making the dip further into TR. And just like with MM2, Eddie is using the newly acquired Wave Beam to his advantage, clears out the 3 Musketeers. Yeah, so the story of this seed has been awful early game, where your progression was maybe 1 or 2 items each time, followed by all the progression after the Morph Ball, and now we're on the classic Ice Rod hunt. So MM2 giving us our first look at Mimic Cave. And I don't know if anyone has checked Norfair Reserve, but this is a check for Eddie. Oh, M2 stream, please don't do this. That's a gold sword. Again, not required to beat the game, but it is certainly nice. Alright, so Eddie's going to pick up the Book of Medora, so that's going to give him access to Ether Tablet, Bombo's Tablet, and be able to look at what's on the pedestal. And if I were him, I would just beeline to each of those just to see if it's there, because once you know where it is, you're effectively in go mode. And you want to avoid going into TR, which, granted, it may just be on Laser Bridge, in which case, you know, if you go there and it's there, you're just a better player, but it's not something you want to bank on. Alright, here's Laser Bridge for MM2. Let's see if it's here. Well, let's see if we can see if it's here. There's a cape. Hilarious. There's the requisite small key. There's morph bombs. That's not the answer. Alright. Where is this ice rod? Alright, Eddie's gonna check the pedestal. No, you don't have all the pendants. You have to check it. Oh, come on! Video game! Alright. So, Eddie and Statue Cat know what they have to do. Time to do all the dungeons except for Aga 1. And I think, yeah, we can do everything now. What a gross seed. MM2 is going to check Pyramid Fairy because, yes, you want this to be the answer, but we know it's not. So, to recap, Morph Ball and TR, Flippers Vanilla, Ice Rod on Pet. Of course. So, Eddie and Statue Cat are effectively at go mode at like 150 something or other. Imagine what this seed looks like if you're playing solo, and you don't have the benefit of having somebody else cover half your checks. Statue Cat's gonna go to Cold Stare. Eddie is just go moding at this point. I assume he knows where the big key is, so it's just go to the big key, mirror out, and then go to the back. I would assume Eddie mirrors out, completes Eastern after doing Pod, and then you're just going for everything else. Alright, Farfaloo is going to pick up the book. Let's see if he makes a beeline to the tablet's end or to the pedestal to get the good news. So yeah, Bow and Red Cane were in Pendant Swamp, which you had to go to first, so that was a mandatory double dip of Swamp, a mandatory double dip of TR. Like, Hammer in Thieves Town is, like, very low on the scale of Troll, because that's just, like, standard Troll things in a seed. This has been just, you know, this has been some top-tier nonsense. Statue Cat is going to clean up Swamp. Everyone had to go in here first to get the bow and the Cane of Samaria, so this is just go straight to the back. Farfaloo's looked like checked Bombo's tablet first, so this is not the answer. Is he going to go into Pendant Swamp and full clear it? Ugh. I mean, granted, they already did the left side, so that doesn't matter. Yes, our tracker Sky says it's seeds are a lot of fun. Well, when you're watching it, it's fun. Yeah, absolutely. if you're the one who has to play this, you're banging your head against the wall. Eddie gets the crystal for Pod. I assume he then mirrors to Eastern, cleans that up. I assume Stashio Cat is just looking for another sword. MM2 brings down Helmosaur King to get the crystal from Pod. Stashio Cat doing some Master Sword spins in order to kill the pups. And once again, the runners on the top of our screen, MM2 and Eddie are in the same dungeon at the same time. And Stashio Cat and Farflu are also in the same dungeon at the same time. Just amazing that the divergence that runners take to end up in the same place at the same time. Just always amazing. Alright, Stashio Cat brings down Argus, but in... Yeah, Argus. I was going to say Fantoon, but in A Link to the Past, but I said the wrong name, but it ended up being the right name anyway. Commentary's hard, you guys. Stashio Cat gonna go to... Misery Mire? Oh, he's going to Lower Norfair to get that done. I mean, it's required anyway, but yeah, whatever. It's all gonna get done, so doesn't matter what order you go for. Barkaloo went back for the item in the big chest, which happened to be a super missile, not the ice rod. Let's see if he goes to check the pedestal or ether tablet or none of the above. It looks like none of the above. This is Meridia. He's going to the Dark World. Yeah, he's going to the portal. He's gonna go beat up Dragon. So, MM2 is going to clean up Skullwoods. If he has the book, he makes the check after he mirrors, and then he'll have the information. And again, Stashio Cat, I think, is just looking for an extra sword. We know they're both on the mountain, but he obviously does not. Alright, yep, MM2's making the move. Here it is. Alright, MM2 and Farfaloo now have the information they need for their go mode. So let's look at dungeon progression. MM2 needs 1, 2, 3, needs 5 more dungeons. Farfalu needs 1, 2, 4, so they've got 9 combined. And then Eddie and Stashio Cat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, so even though Eddie and Stashio Cat got to go mode first, they are behind on dungeon progression. So this is still a race. Alright, there's a Mothula down for MM2. There's a lamp for Stashio Cat. Farfalu is just heading right back into A Link to the Past. At this point, there's no other checks to make. Just go straight to dungeons. Beeline to the boss. Go get your ice rod on the pedestal. And then go to... Effectively, you leave Turtle Rock last, of course, but... just rush dungeons at this point. That is all you need. Unless you want a third sword, but you have to wait until Hookshot Cave or Mimic Cave to get those. Alright, here comes Ridley for Stashio Cat. It's got Ridley positioned correctly for the pogo. Granted, Charge Plasma is good, but obviously you want even more beams if you could. We know where they all are, but just wasn't in the route for Stashio Cat. We know Wave is in Franker Z Missile. We know Ice is somewhere. Eddie's gonna pick up his Ice Rod. That's a Ridley down for Stashio Cat. Eddie's gonna head into Misery Mire. Go directly to the boss. Go directly to the big key, and then go directly to the boss. MM2 knows that the items in Swamp are all dead, so just go straight to the back. Likewise, Farfalu just knows to go straight to the back. So I like Farfalu's routing here because he's gonna do Eastern now to get the second pendant, and then go to Skullwoods, get the green pendant, which is his third pendant, mirror, and just get the Ice Rod. And then he can go to TR, clean that up, stop in front of Ganon's tower, mirror, clean up Hera, and then just go into Ganon's tower. So Farfalu's route is really good here. MM2 is going to finish up Desert, it looks like. Oh, he has to open up Mire, so he didn't complete it yet. But he's going to do that right now. Statue Cat is using Wave to its maximum potential, just like everybody else, being on low energy on the lower Norfair escape. Ooh, Eddie going to the back, but you do need to get the big key first. That is required. Granted, it is a God Mire, so the big key was really easy to get, but you still had to do it. Alright, Statue Cat is very likely going to go to Kraid now, because you're right here. Yep, never mind. Unless he already did it, but I honestly don't know. It was 6 million years ago. Could have done it. Yep, well, when he gets to Ganon's tower, if it doesn't open up, then we'll know that he skipped it. Yes, let's give props to our trackers guy. Tracking 4 players, even though it's the same seed, tracking 4 players is not an easy task, mind you. So shoutouts to our tracker, and also shoutouts to our runners. If you're not following these runners, you should be following these runners. They are very good at both Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. What more could you want? Morph Blue's gonna turn in 3 pendants for an Ice Rod. Good trade, if I say so myself. Statue Cat brings down Blind. Eddie takes down Vitreous. MM2 in his Vitreous fight. And this is going to be a pretty easy one with Cape, Gold Sword, and, well, I was going to say Silver Arrows, but just kidding. He doesn't have those. Eddie mirroring out of Mire to go directly into Desert. Very good routing. So Eddie's route is going to be... Oh, actually, he can't do this route because Dragon is a crystal. So he can't beat TR and then go to Ganon's tower, beat that, and then after Ganon's tower, go to Meridia. Because that's a play you would want to do if Dragon wasn't a crystal. But because Dragon is a crystal, you have to beat him first. Beat her first. Dragon is not a him. Yeah, of the runners, Morph Blue definitely has the best route to GT. just wrapping everything up nicely. And unfortunately, he can't even do any sort of scouting for good items for MM2 because MM2 is already decked out. He's got, like, he knows where the silvers are. He already has 4 swords. Like, there's really nothing else that Farfalu could look for to make MM2's game a little easier. Stashio Cat bringing down Mothula, and Eddie about to enter his Mothula fight. No, that's a Landmo fight. They're not in the same place at all. Craze, what are you doing? Those are almost the same color dungeons. Almost. Stashio Cat gonna pick up his Ice Rod. Barflu, I was complimenting your routing, and then you just skipped the big key? Stashio is on his way to the tower. So we'll see in a moment if he skipped Kraid, but if not, then he's going to T. Oh, he's going to TR. He's going to TR. My bad. My bad. And he is still looking for presumably another sword. For both of them, actually. Eddie and Stashio Cat still on Master Sword, and that's that would mean that Stashio is on Master Sword Silverless for the Ganon fight, and that's not pleasant. Especially for SM means. And 2 picking up an Ice Rod. And there are no other bosses to beat, so it is straight to TR. Yeah, Farfalu did skip the Mimic Cave Sword, and that's an interesting choice to make, because MM2 has picked up the other swords. He knows where they are. So, like, surely picking up the Tempered Sword is faster than doing the Master Sword Ganon fight, right? Although maybe the Hookshot Cave one is faster. Who knows? I haven't timed it. I'm not running this race. They are. Meanwhile, Eddie on his way to beat up Dragon. Actually, kind of making good work of the powder, getting a free refill. Meanwhile, Farfalu has to do this fight with the hammer, because the Master Sword is doesn't do as much damage as a hammer, as it turns out. And there's a Trinex down for Farfalu. Just kidding. Farfalu didn't have... Now Farfalu has Trinex down. I saw explosion, just assumed Trinex was defeated. It was not. Alright, Farfalu just has Tower of Hera left to do, but it is a really easy trek to get there. Just go a couple screens, mirror, and there you are. Okay, Eddie is back in the Dark World, and he's going to make his way to TR. Stashio Cat is just looking for stuff. Finds bombs and decides to bail. That's probably correct, because I don't remember what the last item was. Alright, and that is a Trinex down for MM2, who has taken down the last required dungeon, and now it's on to Ganon's Tower, so if you want to do numbers, do numbers. Uh-oh, Farfalu takes a fall to Moldorm. Stashio Cat is running out of magic. And alright, second head down, so no more magic required. Alright, let's look at MM2 to see where this big key is. Gonna start in Hope Room, that's the typical thing to do. Number 1 is just missiles. Number 2 is a small key. Let's see where he goes from here. He's gonna mirror, so he's not gonna go to the right. We're gonna go to the left. Number 3 is a heart piece. Now, the good thing about co-op is that your partner can go to the other side and check the things you didn't check. Number 4 is an E-Tank. Number 5 is a small key. Number 6 is something. Number 7 is a small key. We have to assume it wasn't the big key because he's still going. Oh, so Stashio did not trigger the entrance, so it's time to do Kraid. All right, super. See, now, had we been paying attention to his minimap, we would have seen that he did not even take the elevator, so he could not have done Kraid. Anyway, I've already lost count of what was on MM2's side, so good luck. And as expected, Farfalu is going to go full right. Because those are the checks that MM2 is not going to get to before Farflu does. Statue Cat getting a great quick kill. And it's going to nope on out. Alright, so MM2 and Farflu are going to get the big key at pretty much the same time, and there it is. So you can just count backwards. They did not do Tile Room, and they did not do the 3 at Ice Armors. They did everything else. So that would be 18. Although, if you want to be really technical with it, when we do the when you do the big key guessing game, you only look at the player that went in first. So you would not count the 4 checks that Farflu did for the compass room. So it would really be 14. Both MM2 and Farflu are going to go up the gauntlet at the same time. So there's really no time save here. Until you get to Ganon, because Farflu has silver arrows and MM2 does not. So you'll start to diverge at that point. And then MM2 is going to have to do Mother Brain without Charge or Ice. So that's going to be a slower Torian. So even though they're both ahead right now, MM2 is going to finish after Farflu by a noticeable amount. Meanwhile, Eddie has to deal with Trinex with an amount of the floor covered in ice. And now Statue Cat will make his way into Ganon's tower with Eddie not too far behind. Let's try next down for Eddie. And Statue Cat is going to go to the right. And with a small key, he is choosing to continue to the right. Let's see if he makes the big brain play to go full right, because that is the correct answer. Statue Cat, do you have enough magic for this? You got bombs. Alright, that should be good enough. Statue, please. Yeah, that's... You gotta do it. So since Eddie's already in Ganon's tower and going left, I would assume Statue Cat goes full right. Okay, good. Meanwhile, MM2 and Farfaloo are in the Aga 2 fight. Oh, Sasho Cat did not go full right. Alright, well. Suppose that's correct if you think it is on the left side, which, odds say that it is because there's just more checks on the left side. But we know that's not the answer here. Alright, Ganon telling us to have a good breakfast. So this should be a pretty easy fight for Farfaloo, who's on Tempered Sword Silvers. And has a keep. MM2, unfortunately, taking a death. I think he's got a fairy? No. Farfaloo doing some spins. And then a keep, and then a Can of Burna to avoid the fire bats. Alright, Farfaloo on phase 3. Eddie? Eddie, you have a big key. You don't have to do this. Ah, yes, still sword hunting. That is correct, but we know that's not the right answer. Okay. Both MM2 and Farfaloo are on phase 4, and it looks like Farfaloo has Ganon down, so